international airliner, and she is an upcoming and the first-time author, and she's none other than Kainaz Jassawala.
Woohoo!
Yeah. And now, well, we've already talked about Kainaz Jassawala, and
Oh, but you know what? You haven't said enough, and hold on, because I know Kainaz a wee bit more than you.
I forgot. You know, I had an instinct that she's always going to be a brilliant writer.
Oh, but you don't know, because we've kind of known her from college days.
I know.
Not many years ago, we'd like to think. It's time to talk about our very honorable, distinguished guests
Yep.
who've come here, who've come here only on this occasion. So, Sahil, would you like to introduce our distinguished
all right,
guest?
Okay. As you all know, we come here for the launch of the book, and it's going to be unveiled by our distinguished guests. And our distinguished guest doesn't need an introduction, our guest of honor. His work has always been very, very fascinating for me. Right from my childhood, I've grown up on his films. I'm sure most of you guys will be agreeing with me that. I mean, right from Zanjeer, Diwar, Sholay, Sita Aur Geeta, etc., etc. He's always been a front runner, I must say that. Well, he's not just a writer, he's a poet, he's an ex-parliamentarian, and he's one of the top lyricists of Indian film industry. And he is none other than Mr. Javed Akhtar.
Whoa!
Javed Saab, aaye zara, please, with Kainaz, of course.
Can we have our distinguished guest and the
Yeah.
star of the evening on the stage, please?
Come. Sir. जावेद साहब, मैं आपसे गुजारिश करूंगा कि कुछ दो अल्फाज हमारी राइटर एंड इस किताब के बारे में कहें. इट विल बी रियली नाइस, सर.
Good evening, everybody. It's really a pleasure meeting young people like Kainaz who are still interested in books. Nowadays, when life has taken a kind of a frantic speed and everything is either Googled or found on their mobile smartphones, people have hardly any time, I'm afraid, for books. Leave aside writing. As a matter of fact, they don't have time for reading. But I suppose no medium can replace books. Today I see most of the children are on iPads or they are watching TV, comic books and so on. The difference between an iPad, what provides the visual, audio-visual, or the TV that provides you audio-visual, and the book, is that you are given a menu. It's a fixed menu. This is the visual, this is the image, everything is given to you. There is no participation of the viewer. The viewer is only receiver. But when you are reading a book, particularly fiction, you are making your own locations in your mind. You are making the faces of the characters. You are making the sets of the houses yourself. Everything. So when you read the book, your imagination enriches. Your imagination gets an exercise, which doesn't happen when the visual, everything is provided to you. But for that, obviously, you have to use your own energy, your own mind. Not many people appreciate that. People want easy way out. They want everything on the platter. So wonderful that a girl of her age, who was once upon a time an air hostess. Now the difference between a writer and air hostess, if you want to become air hostess, it means you have an imagination for flight. And if you are a writer, then you have to have flight of imagination.
That's so beautiful.
So ultimately, our friend has proved that she has flight of imagination. I have seen two kinds of writers in the world. Writers who are exactly the way they write, and writers who are exactly opposite of what they write. I have seen writers who write shocking, very dark stories, but in their personal life they are very gentle, polite, sophisticated. I have seen writers who write very dramatic stories, but then personally they are very simple people. Then at the same time I have seen writers who are witty or who have that tongue-in-cheek quality in their writing, and the same goes in their personal conversation and personality also. So we will have to decide whether she is exactly like her writing or she is opposite. I know about her writing. I have yet to read the book. But whatever little I could gather about the book is that these stories are mysterious, dark, naughty, and sometimes very cruel. So now we will have to toss a coin to find out whether she is exactly like that or she is exactly opposite of that. So nevertheless, in either cases, my best wishes to you. Good luck to you, and I hope that, I'm sure that this novel, this book collection of short stories will be appreciated, because whatever little I have read, that has made me very curious, and I am going to read it from cover to cover, that for sure. Thank you.
About your book.
Okay, firstly, thank you so much, Javed Saab. It is absolutely lovely to be spoken of so well by you. I'm really, really happy about it. And thank you, Sayal and Appy, for the introductions. I think you all know a lot about me already, but it's for the audience to decide. Let me start by saying that an author's journey is not just a writer's journey, but the journey of the soul. My soul is restless and relentless, obstinate and completely uncontrollable when it comes to following or chasing my dreams. Those who know me as a compulsive rule breaker, just when they have figured me out, I do something completely bizarre, and I astound myself as well. So coffee days, champagne nights, and other secrets, the duality, I believe, is the game of life. And I do believe that all of us are wearing some kind of mask, some kind of secrets. And whoever says they don't have a secret are simply fooling themselves or us. I'd like to say something about my book. I started off, I think, a couple of years ago. And I'd always decided that I wanted to be an author, a writer with the journalist background I had, but I always made excuses. And when I lost my grandmom at the age of 103, most of you all know that, I realized that I need to take charge of my life. The dream that I promised her, the promise that I gave her was completely unfinished. And that's when I decided that, it's time for no more games, no more excuses, get out there and do it. And she waited till 103 just to see me as an author. And unfortunately, she's not here. But I'm sure wherever she is, there is a connection. Let me also say something about my book, which I found this, there are 7 short stories. And yes, they are dark, they are twisty, they are edgy. But most of it, they're based on some kind of reality. There's some kind of thread of realism in all of them. And when people ask me, which is the most challenging story that you've written, I always say they're all close to my heart. But there is story number 2, which is called Twisted Souls. And we all have a Ranjana Roy in us. We are strong, yet fragile. We are very loving, yet we have so much of guilt. And so we have this lady who is so strong, she has everything going for her. But when it comes to the crux of the matter, whether she can make it or whether it turns fatal, that's the story. And I think everyone has some emotion in them. So I hope you'll enjoy it. And if you all haven't picked it up, I hope you'll love reading it. And it is an emotional roller coaster. So as I said on my video, please enter at your own risk. Thank you.
Thank you, Kainaz, and congratulations on the book launch. Well, this evening would not have been possible without the right partners. I'm talking about WRITE now. The Right Place is the premier destination for authors to arrive with a raw manuscript and see it being transformed into a finished book. Launched in 2014, this publishing initiative by Crossword Bookstores was started with the aim to enable aspiring authors and ultimately connect them to the right audience, RIGHT, right audience.
The WRITE Place not only takes care of pre-press services, but also design, production, distribution, warehousing, logistics, marketing, and most important of it all, sales. at Crosswords bookstores as well as also most online bookstores in India. So far, The Right Place has published over 40 books under its banner across a range of genres. Crosswords, as you know, is a bookstore range of stores, aims to be the point of cultural and social interaction where authors and poets hold court, where children are regaled, where people gravitate to be informed, to be entertained, even enlightened. The name embodies the vision of Crosswords as a place and a space for people who seek information, knowledge, or just the pleasure of reading. Crosswords stocks the widest range of books and non-books merchandise. And you know what? There is something which is very special about this book, which makes it even more unique. This book, Coffee Days and Champagne Nights, is published in Braille and in most libraries across India. That's really wonderful, Kainas.
And
So what made you think of that?
Well, it's been on my mind for a while. I feel very connected to the visually challenged. I do believe that I've been working with them for some time. I am not able to give as much time as I would like to, which is really sad. But still, I give as much as I can. And I do feel that there are lots of textbooks and manuals available for them. But there's nothing like, novels and books of fiction. And I don't know why they should depend on someone else to read to them. Why can't they read an enjoyable book on their own? And that's exactly why I thought of this idea. And I said, whenever I write a book, and all my future books, I'm going to be publishing it in Braille, as well as now, which I've learned, they have an e-format, which is much more easier to understand, so which I will convert this into an e-format, and of course, all my future books as well.
Oh, that's such a fantastic thing. That's another secret revealed for me of Kainas.
You have a special guest here, right? You would like to talk about?
Yes, I have a very special guest here. Her name is, I don't know if she needs an introduction. She's a wonderful human being. She's also a friend of ours. We haven't met for a while, but she is an absolutely beautiful person, and you just have to meet her to know who she is. Her name is Tanya Balsara, and Tanya is going to say a bit about herself.
So before Tanya speaks, just while, of course, she needs no introduction, a brief background that I'd like to read out. Tanya is a graduate from St. Xavier's College, Mumbai. She's no stranger to media. She's a recipient of several awards, and the latest one being Neelam Kanga Award from National Association for the Blind. Tanya, may I...
Kainas, may I request you to honor her? Tanya, would you like to say something? Yeah? Please.
Okay, I'll sit. Hi everyone, good evening, and congratulations Kainas on this wonderful book. Thank you so much for inviting me to launch your Braille edition. This is such an exciting moment for me because, like Kainas said earlier, in today's age of information technology, there are so many visually impaired who don't have access to Braille books. I mean, there is text available, but they are not all of them in English. And secondly, they are written in times, it's something that we cannot relate to, So we are really looking forward to your book and know a little bit about you and your secrets. There are so many books available even in electronic format, audio and all of that, but Braille is something very close to my heart also, and I definitely look forward to reading your book and sharing it with all my students. Thank you so much. Have a great evening.
Yeah. I think it's time to unveil the book.
Yeah, thank you, Tanya. Thank you,
Thank you,
Javed Saab
Tanya.
again.
Javed Saab,
And can we
please.
have the copies of the book?
Yeah, they are right there.
Right here, okay.
So,
May I request Javed Saab and Tanya and Kainas to unveil the books?
whoa, this is a big moment. Big moment. God bless.
Whoa, congratulations.
Thank you. Thank you so much. Please, why don't you take your seats? Come, sit. Okay, now on a lighter note. Well, so if your kind permission. Yeah. Aparna, you wanted to share some secret, right? Right in the
Me?
beginning of the show, she promised me, right?
Me? Secrets? No,
Yes,
not
of
at all.
course.
Of course not, Sahil. I'm not going to share secrets, my secrets, when we have the queen of secrets sitting with us.
Kainaz is just Savala. And of course, Javed Saab. Javed Saab, आपके पास भी तो खजाना है. You've been in the industry for so long. आप किसी का नाम ना भी लें तो भी चलेगा. आप कुछ अपनी secret ज़रूर please share करें. Sir.
So, you know, they're very smart. They've kind of taken away the baggage from them. We should be asking them their secrets.
That we can tell later. But right now, you
I
guys
know
are on the
most of them.
dais.
Sir, would you like to go first?
Yes, of course.
Well, this is my second meeting with Kainaz. When I met her for the first time, we shared a secret. Both of us are mortally scared of dogs. And since this is one thing that is common between us, except for writing, so writings and dogs, two things are common. We love writing, hate dogs. I must tell you a little story which I have never told anybody. As a matter of fact, I had told my immediate staff, who were the eyewitness of this incident, that never to mention it because it's quite embarrassing. I have always been very scared of dogs. And one day I used to live at Bandstand that time, by the sea. So I thought that why I'm so scared of dogs? Because I never had a dog. If I'll have dogs and I'll be the master of those dogs, obviously I'll get over the fear. So thinking that, I bought two, a male and a female dog, Doberman, and I named them Bonnie and Clyde, and made a big kennel for them, and was a proud owner of these two dogs. Gradually, you know, dogs grow up. So these dogs started growing. And after a little while, I got scared of them. So when I would come to my own house, at the gate, I'll ask the Gorkha, chain kar do unko, kutto ko, bandh do. So when he would chain the dogs or put them in the kennel, only then I would enter. So gradually I lost all touch with those dogs. They were in that, we were living under the same roof, that's true, but had no relationship. My children who were growing up that time, they became very fond of those dogs, but I was scared. I used to drink that time. I left drinking at the 31st of July 1991. So this incident is before that. When I was 10 pegs down one night, suddenly
That's a secret, sir.
it dawned upon me that I am the owner, I'm the master of these dogs. Why am I scared of them? I asked my staff, I will take these dogs for a walk. It was 2:30 in the night. They said, sir, they only go in the morning or in the evening. This is not the right time. I said, I am the master of the dogs. I own the dogs. I can decide when I want to take them for a walk. Open the kennel. Give me the leash. I am taking them. So they, okay. They opened the kennel, put the leash, long leash, and gave it to me. And the dogs were very excited. They were not looking at me. They were looking towards that gate which was still not open. And then the Gorkha opened the gate. I'm sure that quite a few of you must have seen Ben-Hur.
Yeah.
Have you seen Ben-Hur?
Yeah.
You have seen Ben-Hur?
That's right.
So there was a scene where Masala, played by Stephen Boyd, is in the race and his chariot is broken, but he is still not letting go of the reins. And he's dragging, but he's with the dog, with the horses. In my case, these were dogs. The dogs, these two Doberman with such power went out. I felt, in any case, I was perhaps not very steady after 10 pegs. So, I was holding the rein, that leash in my case. And they were running at Bandstand, and I was following them. My chest to the ground, and all my elbows, my knees, everything got totally bruised. Ultimately, the servants came, controlled the dogs, and saved me. And I told them, never mention this to anybody. that it has happened to me. So this is a secret which was so far between my staff, my dogs and me. Now you also know it.
Javed
So-
Saab, however,
That is.
you have given us a secret of overcoming fear, which is 10 pegs down.
That's very bad for the knees and elbows.
That was really sporting, sir. Mentioning your secret, and now I would request Kainaz to share her secret.
I can't top that at all. And I can't tell my peg stories because there are lots of people who are my family out here. But definitely I have things after, not 10 pegs, but 5 pegs maybe, and that does it for me. So I'm not going to get into that. My secret actually is, I'm a secretive person myself, so obviously I will not reveal much, but I do know a lot of secrets of people out here. And so I would say that I'm not going to say much because if I tell everyone else the secrets out here, it's not going to be very, very great. So that's my secret. I know quite a lot of secrets out here. Thank you.
Okay, and so do we. All right, now the floor is open for question answers to Kainaz.
Anybody would like to ask a question with our guests as well as the writer? You had a question, right? Okay, just a moment.
So this question is for Javed Akhtar Sahab. Sir, please tell us what's your inspiration behind writing great scripts and the lyrics?
Thank you.
Well, it is a question come compliment. By putting great, she has turned it into a compliment. Thank you very much. Actually, it's not a surprise that I write. It would have been surprising if I wouldn't have become a writer. I come from a family of writers. I am the 6th generation. My children, who are also writers, they write scripts, they write poetry also, although they are very secretive about their poetry. Now, Farhan has also started writing lyrics in English. Zoya is also a poet, and she writes her own script. Farhan writes a script. So he's the 7th generation of writers. And from mother's side, from father's side, I have inherited this. I don't know when acquired knowledge or acquired craft becomes the part of your genetics and how you inherit in your genes. But I suppose if some people are doing something for generations, then to some extent it must be, the child must be programmed to do it. So that is what I did. I was interested in reading right from early childhood. And as a matter of fact, I was a rather kind of a precocious reader. By the age I was 13, I had read many classics, including Maxim Gorky's Mother and so on, by the age of 12 or 13. And I remember, you know, my mother tongue is Urdu. In Urdu, there's a tradition that poets don't read poetry. They recite without reading. They remember by heart. And remembering poetry is a kind of a tradition in this language. By the time I was 12 or 13, I remembered hundreds of couplets. By the time I was 15 or 16, thousands. Even today, I can recite other people's poetry for 7-8 hours. So, if you read so much, if your intake is so much, and you have that kind of inclination, you are brought up in that atmosphere where your father is a poet, your mother is a writer, your uncles are writers, your grandparents are writers, both the grandparents and so on. So, I mean, what would have been surprising if I had not written? So that's not surprising at all that I did.
Thank you, Javed Saab. Anybody else for the question? With the question, there you are.
This is for Kainaz. Okay, Kai, I'm going to put you on a spot. Do you prefer flying or writing? Be careful what you say.
Yes, with my manager here and with the crossword here, there is a... Okay, I'm going to be very politically correct here and say that I like writing when I'm flying. And when I'm writing, I'm actually flying because my head is usually in the clouds. That's why the imagination is always soaring. And when I come down and I actually pen my words, I sometimes don't believe what I've written. That's another secret. Sometimes I look back. I don't know if it happens to other writers, but when I look back, I have and on myself, and I say, have I really written this? I don't remember writing this at all. So maybe between the jet lags and the combats of sleep deprivation, I have penned this book, and so I can say that I equally enjoy both, absolutely and totally. Thank you.
Fantastic.
But strictly between you and me, have you written it?
Sir, it's very hard to believe looking at me like that, but it has.
Now, the forum is anybody else? Okay. You from the press? Okay.
First of all, thanks a lot to Triti ma'am for a warm welcome and a loving hug. And Kainaz ma'am, you are looking dapper. And Javed sir, thank you for being with us and giving us the opportunity to watch you here. So I grew up in a generation wherein I got to read Kainaz ma'am and Javed sir. And I'm really proud of it. So you both are excellent writers. That's an open secret. But what's the secret of your writing talent? Like, it's for both of you. I want to know that.
Secret of my writing talent, as Javed Saab already said, yes, of course it runs in the family. My dad is a good writer, my mom is. My grandmom was an excellent storyteller. So the secret is just basically writing from your heart, at least for me. I write what I feel. I don't look at what other people would like to read. I would write because, this is what I think at the moment. And that is the secret of, you write from your heart. That is the secret. And don't think too much. Just be unconventional, get out there, be unstoppable. And that's the secret of writing.
That's truly you.
Okay, the forum is open for the press people in case.
Javed Saab has to say the secret of writing.
Sorry.
Well, I suppose inborn inclination or talent is also something, but that is not enough. That's not enough at all. So many young people ask me, we want to become writers. What do we do? The first thing you have to do, and not for a day, but for a very long time, if you want to be a writer, read. There has to be a lot of intake. Gradually, you develop a relationship with language. I think people who can write a letter home, they think they are writers. It's not true. I mean, writing is a job in itself. It's an expertise in itself, which is generally not appreciated to an extent that it should be. Gradually, when you read the masters and you learn how they have used words, how they have made a sentence, how they have expressed things, how they have not said something, but made you reach that point where you will understand it, and so on, then gradually you develop skill for writing. The learning is by reading. You know, words are not just words. Words are not only what they mean in the dictionary. Words are like people. We are sitting here, somebody enters. The first thing that we notice is the physical appearance of the person. The second thing, when we are introduced, what is the vocation of the person? This person is a doctor, or an engineer, or a businessman, or an air hostess, or a pilot, or a cricket player, whoever. Then you sit down and talk to that person. And gradually you decide, slot the person, he or she is this kind of a person. You find different associations. Oh, you are from that college. My brother was in that college. Oh, you know him, and so on. Then you develop more relationship and more connection with the person. Same way. When you hear a word, the first thing that strikes you is the sound of the word, phonetics. The phonetics of the word is the physical appearance of the word. The second thing is the meaning, which is in the dictionary. That is the vocation of the word. This word is deputed to carry this meaning. But that is not all. In psychiatry, it is believed that an average word makes at least 50 references in your brain. Now, this word will also create 50 references. A good writer would know that in average mind, what kind of references will be evoked. Because in subconscious, what will you remember when you will think of this word? What references will come to your mind? Only then he or she will be able to create the right atmosphere in the mind of the reader or the listener. But this sensibility doesn't come on a platter. You can't go and buy it from a shop. That you learn and develop this technique or this understanding of language by reading masters, by reading classics. But at the same time, I don't recommend that anybody, particularly a young person, should read only classics. That can make you dry and too serious and dull. At the same time, you should have the variety of light literature, humor, detective novels, Mills and Boons, all kind of books you should read. And after that, don't be in a hurry to become a writer. Keep reading. And one day when you will be full inside, you will have this feeling that I am ready to write now. Only then you write. And then you will write well.
It's so beautiful. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Javed Saab, for enlightening us. And now the forum is open. Oh, that young lady is there who wants to ask a question, right? Could you come in the front, please, if you don't mind, my dear? Just a moment, sir.
Kaina, since I know you personally, I wanted to ask, since you're like more of a craze to me, how are all of your stories very dark and very mysterious?
As opposed to?
As opposed to like your normal self.
Tia, that's a very intelligent question for your age.
Thank you. Really, I was shocked too.
As I said, this book is on dualities, on polarities, and we all have a side of us that is unexplored. I guess I just explored it and I wrote on that line. When I wrote, I thought it's going to be a humorous book, a little diary or a Bridget Jones or something, maybe Jackie Collins. But when I started writing, it is amazing how, things that come out and things that, you don't expect really flow in your pen or in this case on your laptop. And Tia, hi, come here. So Tia does know me as she is my neighbor's daughter, and I have used her many times as my daughter if I have to chase any kind of Bollywood actor, because I know they can't be mean to children. So when she was tiny, I have used her many, many times as my daughter. And so that secret I'm going to reveal about you just for that question that you asked me.
I think writers know about only two people. People whom they like and people whom they dislike. If you are indifferent, you will not know much about a person. Whether people, ideology, thoughts, groups, whatever. If you like those people, those groups, that ideology, that belief, you will know a lot about it. And if you dislike it, then too you will know a lot about it. Because you want to dislike it. Dislike the person, dislike the idea, dislike the thought. So then you will study it as an antagonist. But if you are indifferent, then you don't know. So that is why writers are either totally different from their creation, or they are exactly similar people. So either way you can understand why. Because what is totally different from you and you totally disapprove of it, you look at it minutely because you dislike it. You know a lot about your enemy, the way you know a lot about your friend. So that is how, perhaps, I'm trying to guess, why a writer writes either the way she is or the way she is not at all. That must be the reason.
Thank you, sir.
That was extremely well put and exactly what I wanted to say. Thank you so much, Javed Saab, for putting it so well for me. Thank you.
So I actually have a question for Tanya. So Tanya, you don't really, I don't know if you've read the book, but do you tend to agree with Kaina's that everybody has a polarity in their personality?
What I do know is that everyone has a secret which they, would like to share or not. And I haven't read the book, so I can't say more.
Great. So I also second your view. Everybody has a secret, and now let's open the book and read and see and hear Kaina's secrets.
Yeah.
Since Javed Sahab has to leave, if someone wants the bites, please kindly bring the cameras in the front. Okay.
I think
Okay, just hold on, please. Just hold on.
I think Javed Sahab has done full justice to my launch, and I thank you
Okay,
so
sir.
much.
All right, sir. Okay, sir. I appreciate. I really appreciate.
Thank you so much,
Thank you
Javed
so
Sahab.
much,
Thank you.
Javed Sahab. Well, the evening is not over yet. Yeah. So. Yeah. So I would request Mrs. Bajaj, who is the chairman of Deeds,